Hi guys, this is George back here with another video and welcome to another episode here in Enchanted Land in Planet Coaster, where as you can see I'm starting to work on the entrance of this wild mouse coaster, the wooden wild mouse that we built in the last episode. So in this episode you're going to see quite a lot of new changes happen to the park. So of course the entrance is going to go in the queue line and exit path for this coaster is also going to go in the station building is going to go, and you'll see in a minute that it actually took me a little while to do this building because I had to move the coaster. You can see me doing it now. I had to move the coaster around a little bit just to make sure that it would fit through the arches and I'd be able to fit the building around it. In a minute I'm going to be moving it again because as you can see it gets too close there with the airtime hill, so I had to move that back a little, the building forward a little bit. So as well as that, other stuff that's going to go in, I put in a bit of a mini arcade that goes in later, and also some new flat rides are going to be getting installed later as well. Lots of planting is going to go in as well, and I'm also going to be getting ready for the area of where a new coaster is going to be built, and that is going to be built in the next episode, and that's going to be a scenic railway. So yeah, looking forward to building that one. Lots of inspiration from the Scenic Railway at Dreamland Margate with that one, and the one also Scenic Railway in Melbourne as well. So yeah, we'll be building that in the next episode. You'll see the plaza go in for that at the end of this episode, and then lots of planting around it as well. As you can see, some different things going on the building here, and I've changed the color of it as well. There's the entrance sign there, and then I'm looking for different things to put on the side of this building now, and you'll see that it kind of takes me a little bit of a while to decide what I want to put on this building, because originally I was thinking about those vintage posters. However, then I was thinking, actually, I don't know if I want to do that because I feel like I've already used them a lot with what I've built in the park. And I mean, it's a small park so far. There's not a lot of it here, and I feel like there's going to be a lot of opportunities where I'm going to use those posters. So I feel like I wanted to try something a bit different. But then I was thinking, do you know what? I feel like nothing else really fits, and the vintage posters do look really good. So I decided to put some of them on in the end. But yeah, I would like to find some different things to kind of decorate buildings with, because I don't want to just keep putting those posters on everything because I feel like it's going to get a bit repetitive. They're already on the entrance, and there's also one at the food area just at the front of the park as well. Yeah, as I said, lots is changing in this episode, so you can see some lights going on here as well. These took me a while as well, actually, because I wanted to make sure they were in the perfect place and making sure they all looked even and were the same amount of space apart. So you see me do quite a lot of moving around with some of them, especially later on when I start taking with these bits as well. I start taking bits out and moving them around and trying to space them out a little bit differently, trying to fit in, uh, trying to fit as many in as I can while still making them look even and symmetrical. This bit was causing me a bit of a problem here because I wanted to end it on a blue light, just like it did on the other side there, as you can see. But then you can see that it's kind of covered up by the sign a little bit. So, but that's unfortunately the best I could get it. So I just had to deal with it eventually. More lights going on the sides of these posters here, as you can see, and going on the other side there. And I believe it's the queue line that I start working on next, or the exit path. That takes me a little bit of a while to do as well because of the station building. So I think I put the queue and the exit in first, and then I started building the station building, and it was kind of getting the paths were kind of getting in the way, so I moved them around a little bit. But yeah, you'll see me go back to them a couple times and rework them slightly. There we go, exit paths in, and now the queue line is about to get installed. Oh no, here we go. The building's going in first. I filmed this recording a while ago. Actually, it's been a while. It's probably been about a week since I went on this park and actually did anything. But yeah, it's not going to be too long until I go on there and start building the scenic railway. Of course, a few of these episodes have been pre-recorded. As of filming this episode and doing the voiceover for it now, I haven't even uploaded the first episode yet, and I'm not going to be still for a couple of days. The first episode is going to be well. The first episode is coming on the 6th of May. That's when I decided I'd release the first episode, and then the episodes will be released every couple of weeks or so. I don't want to release them too often, but I don't want there to be massive gaps between videos as well, like there was with Adventure Springs Resort at times. I remember when I was building the Back to the Future coaster, there were some gaps and in the upload schedule, and it took me at some points a couple months to upload an episode. So I don't want to be doing that this time. So if ever there's going to be a point where I'm not going to be able to go on Planet Coaster very much, then I'll pre-record a few episodes. So I've got a few episodes pre-recorded. I've got a lot going on in the next couple of months. Of course, going to theme parks in real life, trips coming up. We've got uh, a, we've got a few ideas of what we want to do for in the next few weeks. Hopefully, we'll get out to Spain in the next few weeks and go to Parque Warner Madrid and get on Gotham City Escape. That was announced yesterday, as of recording, to open on May the 13th. So hopefully, in a couple of weeks, we'll be going there and getting on that coaster. Really, really hope so. I really want to get on it. Big bucket list coaster for me. It looks absolutely fantastic. And then in the summer holidays, we're going to be going to Florida as well. Or at the moment, that's what's most likely going to happen. So yeah, can't wait to get back to Florida. First time there since 2019, and there's a lot of new rides for me to experience as well. Of course, Jurassic World Velocicoaster. I've not done that yet. Iron Gwazi. This year we've got Pipeline opening at SeaWorld, so I can't wait to go on that. Icebreaker I've still not done. And then there are a few things that I missed out on last time I was there. So there's a couple of credits for me to get a SeaWorld that I didn't do last time. I didn't do Journey to Atlantis last time, so I'll look forward to doing that. And then I've got a couple to get. I've got one to get at Busch Gardens as well. I didn't do their Wild Mouse last time I was there. And of course, we're going to be visiting Disney for the first time as well. So I can't wait to get there and get on all of their rides. As you can see, lots of painting going on the station now, making it all fit the same colour scheme. And then there's the entrance to the queue going in, or the queue ending in the station part going in. I was just looking at what path I used for the queue there because I wanted it all to match, as you can see. So this is all the same queue as the other rides in the park, and I do plan on using the same queue for every ride and the same paths as well. There's not going to be any changes in the paths around the park. They're all going to fit the same path. Here we go, going back to the exit now and doing some more work on there. There we go, and here we go. Now the landscaping begins. Lots of trees going around here. And then later on, I can't remember if I did it off camera or on camera. I'll go, I think it was on camera actually. I switch it to night and start putting some lighting around the coast and around some other sections of the park as well. So you'll see that coming in later. But yeah, lots of trees going in around the coaster. So you're not really going to see loads of this off ride really. When you're on ride, of course, you're going to see it. But off ride, you're only going to really see the front of it. There we go, going behind that building as well. More trees going in, as you can see there. And here we go, we've got some other ones going in now. So I didn't want to use the same type of tree. We're sticking with the same trees that I've used in the rest of the park as well. There we go, going near some of the turns now, near near the entrance of the ride. I'm really happy with the way this Wild Mouse has turned out. I like the layout of it. And I like the way that the look of the trees around it as well. I'm quite happy with how that's turned out. I'm hoping the scenic railway will fit in just as well. I might go with a bit of a. Actually, I was thinking possibly going with a bit of an alpine theme with the scenic railway. However, then I decided no, I don't know if I am going to do that because I mean this is a vintage park, so it's not going to be loads of heavy theming around. It's more going to be landscaping. However, there will be some light theming in some areas. I have got plans to do a tiny little bit of theming around one ride in particular, but then most of the park is going to be kind of like gardens and landscaping. A big inspiration with this park has been Tivoli Gardens in Copenhagen, a beautiful looking amusement park. I really want to get there at some point. It looks absolutely fantastic. And here we go, as you can see, some flat rides are now coming in. So we've got I don't even know what these types of rides are called. I've been on one of these before, but it was a travelling fair. And then we've got a balloons ride going in as well. So yeah, of course, with those other rides, you just stay in that little pod and then the gravity keeps you in place. Yeah, I really enjoyed that ride actually. It was really, really good. I've been on it a few times. And then, of course, you've got the hot air balloon ride there as well. Queue line going in for that. And then we're going to start doing some more landscaping in a minute. There we go, just getting a bit of a look from above. Yeah, I'm really happy with the way this park's turned out so far. It's quite compact, and the plan with this park is to keep it quite compact. It's not going to be a huge park. There's going to be quite a lot of rides, but all fit into quite a small space. You can see some rocks going in, fill up the space a little bit. I don't want it all to just be planting. I want some rocks, quite a lot of rocks around as well. There we go. So here we go. We've got some bushes coming in now. More, there's going to be more trees coming in later, and all sorts of different shrubbery. Yeah, I'm happy with the look of it. It looks good. There we go. More different types of plants. I want to go with a bit of a mix. I don't want it all to look the same. There you go. I was going to put in some of those other, one of those other red plants, but then I decided to go with that one instead. I feel like that one looked a bit better and fit the space a bit better. Yeah, trying to use lots of different types of plants here. Oh, you can see I had a bit of an oopsie with those ones. Here we go, lots more shrubbery coming in. And then I can't remember what I do next actually. As I said, it's been a while since I actually filmed this and built this. It was probably about a week ago I did this. Here we go, more plants going in. So yeah, I believe the next thing that I do is the arcade building. I have left a couple of spaces with no landscaping for now because there are more rides, like you see that area just in front of these two flat rides on the other side of the path. That is left empty because there's going to be a ride there. I'm going to be building a vintage cars ride there. Probably not in the next episode because I'm building the scenic railway, but in the episode after that I'll probably do the vintage cars, and that'll be going on that site. And then of course the arcade is on the other side, just opposite the entrance to the Wild Mouse. And then the scenic railway, you're going to carry on going down that path past the Wild Mouse. You're then going to turn right, and then there's going to be a plaza on the left hand side where the scenic railway will be, and you'll see me build that plaza later on in the episode, ready for the scenic railway to come in the next episode. Of course, with the scenic railway, that would probably be one of the oldest rides in this park. You'd probably be looking at around the 1920s, 1930s that would have opened. Yeah, sticking with the vintage theme. There's not going to be any modern rides in this park, of course, with different amusement parks around the world. Of course, as more rides come out and a lot more new technology comes out, they are going to evolve to bring in all these modern rides. So if you look at something like Cedar Point, they've got a lot of classic rides there, but they've also got a lot of modern stuff as well. You look at something like Blue Streak, Iron Dragon, Magnum XL 200, like those two Arrow coasters, Magnum and Iron Dragon. And you've got a couple of other arrows there as well. You've got Gemini, Corkscrew. They have a lot of arrows at that park. Cedar Creek Mine Ride, and they have a lot of classics there. Blue Streak, I believe, is the oldest operational coaster at Cedar Point. And then, of course, they've got lots of classic flats as well. They've got one of those. I don't know how to like imagine Derby Racer at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. They've got one of those there. One of only 3 of those in the world. And then, of course, they've got lots of modern rides there as well, like Steel Vengeance that opened in 2018. Big modern RMC hybrid coaster. You've got some big steel coasters there, like lots of B&M's, Top Thrill Dragster. That's a very iconic modern ride using that hydraulic launch system. You've got Rail Raven, a massive B&M steel dive coaster, and Gatekeeper at the entrance to the park. So they've mixed the classic rides with the more modern rides, and the same with Tivoli Gardens. Of course, they've got a B&M Flawless there, Demonin. Yeah, I'd really like to get to Tivoli Gardens. That's been a big inspiration with this park. Liseberg as well. That's another one that's helped inspire this park. I believe that's turning 200 years old this year. So yeah, so it's Cedar Liseberg is an old park. I can't remember. Oh no, it's not 200. It's 100. Sorry, 100 years old this year, and of course they've got a new coaster celebrate that, Vekoma Junior Boomerang. But they've got a lot. They've got Balder, of course. There, they've not really got loads of classic rides. They've got Leesburg Bannon, which is a Sierra coaster. That's quite old. However, they've got a lot of modern rides there as well. They've kind of taken out a lot of the older rides and kind of going with more modern stuff, like Helix and that dive coat Valkyria. That's it. Here you go, more trees going in now. So yeah, this area is looking very green now, as you can see. And of course, lots of colour around as well with all the with the orange trees and all the different plants as well. Sticking with the same look as the rest of the park. The majority of the park is going to look like this. As I said, there is going to be a couple of rides that will have some light theming. However, most of the park is going to look like this, and even that area with the light theming, it is still going to look a bit like this. However, it's going to have a little bit of a different building style. That's going to be the main difference with that one. A little bit different colours. There we go. So you can see all those rides testing as well. They look fantastic. I really like the way the park looks so far. So we've got 5 rides in this park so far. Of course, in episode 1, we put in the carousel and also the whip. And then episode 2, we built the wild mouse. And this episode, we've got those 2 other rides. And then we've got another coaster coming in the next episode. So the park is growing. There's going to be a lot of rides in this park. And it's going to be quite a compact park as well. Here we go. Lots of benches going in now. Lots of other infrastructure around the park. Benches, bins, and I'll move on to some lighting after this. There's still a few things I definitely need to put in. I haven't put in a staff room yet. That's something that needs to come in. And we've got no toilets, so we definitely need to put one of them in. Probably episode 5, I'll put those in. And then also I'd like to put first aid station in, ATM, information stand, all that kind of thing. All the classic things quite close to the entrance of the park that you'd expect to see when walking in. And of course, with this is probably going to be, with it being a vintage park, it most likely will be pay per ride. Of course, a lot of old school amusement parks still offer wristbands, or you pay per ride. Something like Tivoli, I keep mentioning it. Tivoli Gardens, I believe they're paid per ride. Barkham as well, the world's oldest amusement park, that's pay per ride. Blackpool Pleasure Beach doesn't do that anymore. They used to do pay per ride, and you used to be able to get wristbands. However, that's not a thing anymore. You have to pay to go into the park now, and I feel like that's a bit of a missed opportunity for Blackpool, because when parks are free to enter, like these amusement parks, and when they're free to enter, you're going to get a lot more people coming in, because with something like Blackpool Pleasure Beach, they could be walking down the promenade, see a free to enter amusement park and be like, oh, let's go in and just do a couple rides. But if you're paying to go into the park, you're going to get a lot less people walking in just on a spontaneous visit. So yeah, I feel like a bit of a missed opportunity for Blackpool. Dreamland Margate are paying per ride though. They've changed that. When I was last there, I was there in 2019, and we had to pay to go in. Now they don't do that. Since they reopened after COVID, they reopened for a little bit in 2022, and I believe they're doing a full season this year. So it's great to see, because they got hit hard by that by the pandemic, but they're doing pay per ride system now, which I think is really good. Here we go. You can see the plaza going in now. This is where the scenic railway is going to go. You can see a fountain going in here, and then we're going to have some more planting coming in shortly. Here we go. I really like the look of when you go to these amusement parks and see a fountain, or just like a carousel horse as a centerpiece. So I wanted to have something like that for the entrance of this scenic railway. So as you can see, we've got a fountain there with a carousel horse just on the top there. Yeah, I really like the look of that. And then more planting will come in around that, as you can see. Here we go. So that'll be finished shortly. And then I believe is a point where I turn the park to night, and then I start putting some lighting around. I've already done the lampposts on the path, however, I do put a bit of lighting around the wild mouse. Actually, I think that comes after I do the arcade. I think that might be coming next. Yeah, here we go. I'm just figuring out what I want to do with this area now. Now I've had the idea. It's like, yep, we're going to put in an arcade. I do a bit of moving around with these arcade machines, because originally I put them in first, or I start doing the building, and then I realised the building's not big enough, so I spread the arcade machines out a little bit more. I was planning on having them all right next to each other, but they didn't all fit in there, unfortunately. There you go. You can see the building going in, and now I can't fit the arcade machines won't go in, so I needed to put those in before doing the building and move them, spread them out a little bit. There we go. And this building actually stays the original color scheme. I don't go changing the colors of this one. Here we go. You can see changing them up now, just so you don't see a big empty gap. There you go. You can see a couple of kind of turrets going on the edge of the building, and then the roofing getting ready to go in. Oh, bit of a misplace there. There we go. Here we go. I spend a while on these, I believe. I think, yeah, there we go. So I noticed that one was a bit wonky, so I deleted it and just putting it back in there, making sure it's completely symmetrical, or as symmetrical as it can be at least. It can be very difficult putting all of these in the perfect place. There we go, moving them a bit now as well, just to make sure you can walk in there. Oh, got some signage going up there. More wall decorations now. There we go. This is something something else I spend a while on. I was talking about the lights earlier and making sure they all fit together nicely. This is another one of those things that I was struggling to fit together nicely, so I spend a while doing that, trying to make it as symmetrical as possible. As you can see, there's a bit of a gap there, so I spend a bit of time sorting that out. There we go. So now I've got it so it's halfway on the other side, and then doing the other half on this side. But it's not completely perfect by the end. However, it had to do. You can see there's a tiny little bit of a gap there, but if you're just looking at it from far away, you're not really going to notice that. And it's the best we could. It's the best we could get, unfortunately. Here we go. Some more light arches going in now. I really like these light arches. These add quite a lot to the park. Really, really like them. There's some really good stuff in this vintage pack. It was a DLC pack. I think this was the first. Yeah, because I did. You may not know this, but I did do a vintage park before Discovery World. However, I did take the videos down from the channel because I wanted to do a different vintage park, because I've come a long way with Planet Coaster since I built that park, and I knew I could do things a lot better now. Here we go, lighting going in for the Wild Mouse there. Not loads going in. I want it to be quite a dark experience when it's at night and you don't see loads. However, I do put a little bit of lighting around. You can see me changing the colours of that there as well. There we go. So yes, quite blue, this coaster at night. However, only small sections of it are lit up, and then you can see the entrance is glowing there as well. Bit of a different colour. We've gone with yellow for that one, and then I believe it's yellow I do on the arcade as well. There we go, yeah. Yellow lighting, and then putting that in the floor there. We're approaching the end of the episode now. That is pretty much it from what I remember. There we go, there's a look at the park from when it's finished. And that is now pretty much... Oh no, there's more coming up. We're about to go for a POV of the Wild Mouse now, so here we go. Here we go, POV of the Wild Mouse. So while I'm here, I'll just do the outro. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at George Kelly. Follow me on Twitter at George Kelly. And check out my other YouTube channel at George Kelly. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, everyone. And I will see you all later. Bye.